Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we are returning to Rule the Waves 3. We've just pulled back all of our forces towards Northeast Asia and we're only having very few forces in other places. The hope is that the game decides that we're going to enter a great fleet engagement against the UK here and hopefully diminish their forces a little bit, which should bring us closer towards a resolution of the war. We are also supporting our attack on the UK possession of Wai. So let's see how that is going to turn out, and there is at least a battle in support of land combat, which is large in size. That's good. We've got 8 battleships, the enemy has 7 battleships. So slight advantage here for us. Also one more carrier, although their carriers tend to be a little bit larger. The thing that's slightly concerning to me... Oh, no, that's fine. I was thinking that they had 11 heavy cruisers. That's not the case. They've got a couple of more destroyers here than us, but we certainly do want to engage them in this big fight. This is going to be exciting, guys. I like it. This is going to be a huge fleet action. So let's see what we can do over here. Firstly, we're going to zoom out, determine the time of day. Seems to be around midday. That's a-okay. We can also see that at the bottom there. So the local time is 12:30. Yeah, pretty much exactly that. We don't have a specific objective, but we know enemy fleets might be about. And what have we got? We've got our 3 carriers down here. The Akagi, the one that we have designed and built, which has quite a couple of aircraft. Hoshu and Shokaku, the slightly smaller ones, accompanied by a group of destroyers and a group of light cruisers. We're going to ask these guys here to be eye control because I don't want to be bothered by that. We've got a couple of battleships here. That is probably... Yeah, we've got the first battle group, that's over here, and we've got the third battle group, that's down here. So these guys, slightly older ships with these 6 dual turrets, 2 of them in the middle. I kind of hate that layout, you know that, and I don't really mind. I mean, I do mind if we're losing these ships, right? So let's try not to lose them, but on the other hand, they wouldn't be the worst loss. So let's keep it like that. Right, you guys are doing fine here. You guys should actually, I think, be scouting for first battle group. So let's ask our 2 heavy cruisers here. I think they're going to be super nice in trying to engage enemy destroyers or light cruisers. Just look at them. I really like this design. That's a design that I'm happy about. Right, so you guys should all be fine. Now, the issue is we have absolutely no smashing idea where the enemy is at all. Now, they might very well be around this harbor, but there's no guarantee for that. One thing that we're going to check is on our carriers here, the air patrol. So this is the air patrol that has been set up. Obviously, we don't need to scout through the entirety of this region here for the enemy. So we're going to keep this a lot smaller here and do it like that. I don't think we need night combat air patrol. Other than that, I do think a heavy combat air patrol might be useful, because we know that they have got carriers in the vicinity, 2 of them at least. So let's do it like that. We're also going to immediately start to prepare a strike here with 1st Carrier Division. There's also 1st Battle Division. That's just a couple of float plane scouts. They're going to do their job. We're going to auto-select a strike here and set these guys up so that they've got... What's the range here? So we could carry 600-pound bombs if we are within 100 nautical miles. I do like that you're carrying torpedoes. I do think we need a couple of escort planes. That's all good, but I think the dive bombers should be carrying heavy bombs if we are within 100 miles, which I think is likely, to be honest. So on the other hand, just having the medium bomb load, it's not that great of a difference. So you know what, you guys are going to keep the medium bombs. That's going to be fine. We are going to ready this strike and make sure that our guys are preparing whatever they need to be preparing. Right, yeah, let's hit the next... Oh, we actually locked in time here. Locked into our courses here, which does mean that we are very likely to very soon spot the enemy, and that I think might mean that it might be around here somewhere. So we're probably going to bounce into these guys fairly soon. Let's make sure that we are keeping an eye here on the reports. Nothing so far. Let's run for 5 minutes. You can see our scout planes are getting out there to check on things. And here is the first sighting of a potentially enemy ship. We of course do not know whether it's truly enemy, but yeah, that is very likely. So you guys can go back to, you know what, we're not going to keep you to, yeah, we're going to keep you to core. We're going to get you in line ahead formation. That's our heavy cruisers. You're going to go ahead a little bit and check out what's going on there. By the way, we didn't check on these guys now. We've got Yashima, our newly built ship, 12 guns of 16-inch calibers and a lot of 5-inch guns. I really love these guys. And then the Sagami and Fuzu, they are significantly smaller, but still very capable ships, so I also like that. You're going to speed up, you're going to make your way to the north here. You guys down here, go to squadron max speed, not the -2 actually, so that is going to be fine too. You guys, I want to park you a little bit here into the wind already, so that we can get you to ready to launch. Now, we are not going to launch on that single ship there, because we don't know what that is yet. And if we do want to do anything, we want to be a little bit more aggressive here. Right, let's keep an eye on our gun range here. Carrier division has been spotted by an enemy. Now that's not good, because that means it's kind of likely that they would attack us soon. Right, let's try to get our heavy cruisers into this direction. Lots of ships now that we are sighting here. And this can be sort of anything. Notice that our battleships are already starting to open fire, and honestly I think for the next 10 minutes you should be holding fire, because I don't know what we are up against here, and that might mean that you guys just need a second basically. Okay, we know now that they've got a heavy cruiser, which I think the game didn't tell us that it was even in the game. You're carrying 6 8-inch guns in a very interesting configuration. Just one to the front here, one turret to the front, 2 to the rear, and a couple of 5-inch guns. So 4.5 inches of belt armor. I'm not sure we can stand up to the belt armor here. Well, but we're doing okay-ish, I suppose. Right, let's go to a sort of 83-degree course here. Try to get more of our turrets into action. You can see most of our turrets are now into action and ready to fire on them. But I suppose we really need to go to an even more aggressive course. Now these guys down here though, that to me looks a lot like that might be battleships. They're bigger, we've identified them at a much larger distance, so that in turn could also be something that we need to be mindful about. So let's have our battleships turn to starboard here and get ready in a battle line. And you know what? I think you're going to go on a 99-degree course. Let's call that a 94-degree course. And then I'm going to ask you to hit these guys. Can I hit them? Well, you could go for the heavy cruisers. I don't think that's going to be worthwhile, but I suppose it needs to be done for now. Okay, 10 minutes, that's fine. You guys down here, we really need to start to get you over here. And I suppose at this point we can start to think about attacking with our ship, with our aircraft. Select everyone who's ready. And ask you guys to come right about here. You'd be arriving at target at... Wait a minute. What time is that? Sometimes the game doesn't quite register how many aircraft you have selected. 5. I think that refers to... Oh no, that refers to the Greenwich Mean Time, which is 4 o'clock right now. So that would be in about an hour. I would like you to target carriers, but I don't believe that there are going to be any carriers right around here. Although there might very well be. But I suppose battleships are our primary target here if we are already in engagement. So yeah, we're going to select battleships. It's going to take you an hour to get there, but yeah, we can't go for a coordinated strike. That would just take way too long. So we're going to launch the strike immediately. No, we don't want to do a coordinated strike. No, 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 no. Yeah, okay, let's just go there. Right. 1 more minute here. First hit on the heavy cruiser there, that's nice. 8-inch shell hitting there. On the other hand, they have hit us now twice actually. But with light guns, well, and one of them heavy guns. Okay, can I ask you guys now to actually engage these big ships over there, which do look surprisingly like battleships. I think we can go for slightly more aggressive courses here, slightly to the south. The reason here is I'm going to try to draw them into our other battleship group, because that's already 4 heavy ships there, if not more. So we definitely need to do something about that. 2 more hits on this guy, that's lovely. He's showing light damage, but that's not very likely to be that dramatically true. Asama, you guys have already been hit a couple of times with what? 15-inch guns. Let's briefly check on what that could be. So, sorry, that's up over here. Great Britain, what ships do you have that have 15-inch guns? That must be some ensign classes or resolution. So we don't know what it is. Either of them is going to be pretty tough not to crack. 13 inches of belt armor, you've got 8 15-inch guns. 8 15-inch guns, 13.5 inches of belt armor. It would be lovely to know something about your deck armor so that we know whether it's better to actually attack you at a very long distance or at a very short distance. Superstructure is being hit on Osama, but we're hitting Dear Dame and an Ariel class. Yeah, you're just getting in there. That might be a destroyer there. Notice how many battleships they have. So I'm counting at least 5 currently. One of them a battle cruiser, admittedly, and 2 heavy cruisers. I believe that these guys are all battleships. So we're in a slightly worse position here, I think, than I would like to be. Question is, what are we going to do about that? We could start a torpedo attack. Just get in there, disrupt their lines a little bit. That might buy us some time. We do have a couple of light cruisers here, and we do have a couple of destroyers here, but I don't think that would be that useful. So let's go on an even more rightly course here. Go a little bit more southerly. Now you are attacking there, that's good. Is that a single ship? No, there's also the Itsumu. You guys are down there. Let's dial down your speed. Let's dial down your speed here. Just making sure that everyone is at their optimal speed. And the reason you don't want to go at the top speed is that there are going to be vibrations in the ship. That's not going to be good. Yeah. Okay, so we know now that we are up against at least 2 resolution classes. We're still treating this as a heavy cruiser. It isn't. I know that for pretty much sure. So let's see how we're going to stand up. The only good thing I think in this engagement right now is that we have aircrafts which are very likely to come in relatively soon at least. So that's nice. But yeah, you guys need to really join up now. Some problems with temperamental engines. Yeah, that's what you get for prioritizing speed. Slightly concerned whether that guy might have launched torpedoes. But at this distance, it's relatively unlikely that they're going to do anything. Okay, a couple of hits here on this guy, 13 inches, 13-inch shell, so that's lovely. Yeah, but notice that we are fighting all 4 resolution class ships of the Brits. And I think they had 4, right? Didn't they have 4? Yeah, that's the 4 biggest ships they have. It's also, they've got significant armaments. 8 15-inch guns. How does that compare to our guns? Yamashiro, we already looked at that. You've got a lot more guns. 15 and 50% more, and they are higher caliber. But on the other hand, you guys have only 13 inches. So that's not quite as good. The Diadem class is being hit pretty heavily here. Resolution class hit, but Yamashiro superstructure hit. That's a heavy hit, 15 inches. Hull damage by splinters, not good, but not terrible either at this moment. Itsumo is being hit. You are sort of in between these 2 ships. That's not good. And I suppose these light cruisers can go back to supporting rather than screening, so that they get out of the line of sight here a little bit. Yeah, and there's also the ensign class. Another 15-inch caliber ship. Another resolution class hit. Asama is being battered at this point. It's still doing fine. Europa class. Where's that? Oh, so we do actually have a heavy cruiser in the battle line here. That's interesting. What have you got? Well, we've got 10 10-inch guns in a very weird configuration, I have to say. Sagami class is being hit here and badly because it's a single hit. It's a single 15-inch head. But salt water enters the machinery tank and that drops our max speed to 90 knots, which means we're going to be pretty slow here. We're going to be pretty much sitting ducks. Ooh, this is not going well for us. On the other hand, we are scoring hits on them and we don't know precisely what damage we did here. So that's at least a thing. These are only 18 shells that are hitting there. Yashima, also an engine room hit. Ooh, this is not going good. This is not going great. You guys are at your max speed, aren't you? More resolution classes hit. At least we are getting the first 16-inch hit here. I don't see, unfortunately, any turrets that have been put out of action. There's one turret that's out of action. That's nice. But I think it's only temporary. We haven't destroyed it. It's only jammed or damaged for some time. Nice thing is their rear turrets don't seem to be in action, all of them. So we are at least a little bit crossing the T, which is something. It's not great, but it's something. More resolution class hits here, so that's nice. But yeah, I do think what we need to do is just grab our destroyers here, grab them, get you to intercept, and try to do a torpedo run here on these battleships. Sagami is suffering a pass-through hit. That's not the worst, but two 16-inch hits on the resolution class there. That at least is lovely. And another 13-inch hit there. Oiti is suffering damage to the torpedo tubes, but that's okay. That's sort of what they are built to do. Actually, you could start a torpedo attack right now, so let's have you run over here. Let's have you target the battleships. I don't know whether that does a lot of damage, whether that makes a lot of difference, but it's still nice to see. Our heavy cruisers, you guys need to turn, I think, just due south and try to get rid of you here. It's tempting to keep you around to get rid of the light ships and have our heavy ships, have our destroyers here in a more favorable setting to do their torpedo runs. But not right now. Another 16-inch hit there. 13 and 16-inch hits. Nice. There are the first torpedoes in the water. Only 2 of them. But that's still very good. And a lot of good hits here from our side now. 2 16-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch. Well, only 2 of them really matter. And that's the 16-inch shells. Right. You guys are starting to be a little bit more relevant now. And that is lovely to see. More hits. Notice a lot more torpedoes are in the water now. That is, of course, lovely. I very much doubt that we're going to see a lot of hits from these torpedoes, but at least it's going to break up their line. And notice Sagami is suffering the second hit here on the engine, so salt water into the feed tanks and an engine room hit. You're down to, well, still 90 knots, so that's still okay-ish. How are you guys? You still have some torpedoes that you can fire off, so I'm going to try to get you to do that. I suppose you guys can go back to traveling in this direction. Shield us from them, and notice how many torpedoes we've got in the water now. That is a fantastic sight. But I think that's probably pretty much all of them. Yeah, well, at least nearly so. So we're going to get you back on the AI control, get back towards these battleships. Notice how some of them are turning away. That's nice to see. And we're still scoring hits on them as we go here. So, yeah, very lovely. Very lovely. We did turn that around, I think a little bit at least. More hits here on all sides. And maybe we're going to score some hits here on these torpedoes. I don't know. Yes. Yes, that's very lovely. 1 hit at the very least. Whew. I'm so nervous, but this is a good torpedo run. Heavy cruiser is being butchered here. The other hits are not that relevant. I don't see that many hits here on these torpedoes. Notice that we have used magnetic ignition, so it's a lot it's pretty likely that there are going to be a lot of dots, but the ones that do score a hit do score a lot of damage, so that's good. Ooh, very lovely. Very lovely indeed. And notice how our destroyers are coming back here. We've got these guys who are now actually engaged, but only with very few of your actual turrets. And this is what I really hate about this layout. If these guys had just 3 triple turrets back and front, that would be much better. But that's of course not the case. Right, lots of hits here. And I think we should start to see that they're going to be a little bit slower now. And a lot of them should be suffering a lot of hits here. We should also start to see some of our planes coming in, shouldn't we? Yeah, there are some dive bombers. There are some torpedo bombers. So these guys are now coming in, and that's a very opportune time, I have to say. Ooh, but there's a conning tower hit on the Yashima. So that's pretty much the bridge, the armored bridge that is housing the captain, who's brilliant and a gunnery expert. I would like you not to die if at all possible. I also don't want to get too close to these guys because they can launch torpedoes on us too, and that would be pretty devastating. Fuso engine room hits, and that's the last guy in this column here. All of our turrets are now in action on these ships too. At this point I'm going to drop down their speed a little bit, and Fuso has actually been hit, Ensign class 2. Fuso has lost one of her turrets, temporarily for some time at least. That doesn't mean that it's completely out, like blown out, but it's still a problem. Their line has been completely shattered. 2 of their turrets have been completely disabled. 2 of them are temporarily disabled. 1 of them is destroyed, 1 of them is disabled. These guys seem to be doing a lot better, so it was really like the frontal part of their line that really ran into our torpedoes here. And probably some of these torpedo hits just scored so much damage that it did take them out a little bit. Right. Let's see what our aircrafts are going to do. And honestly, I think, you know what, I'm going to have you guys come around a little bit to the south. I don't think we need you to engage against all of these ships. Right, because I would like to get a little bit to the north here. There are some reports about enemy shipping. Yeah, all of these are battleship reports. I wonder whether we do get any carrier reports. Heavy cruisers. Heavy cruisers. We could also look at the reports here. Yeah, there is actually a report about enemy carriers way to the north. So let's look at our strike packages and see if we do have anyone who's currently available. Honestly, not that many aircraft are there, except for a couple of fighters which are running combat air patrols. Now that being said, what I should do is actually provide combat air patrol here to 1st Battle Squadron. Yeah. Okay, so let's focus for now on the enemy battleships. And we are culling them pretty nicely, I think. You guys have no torpedoes to speak of. You guys have absolutely no torpedoes. Yeah, it would be really lovely to have more destroyers in the game here. But we don't. Slightly concerned about these light ships. I don't want to get too close to them. So the big question is what we're going to do. And I think the answer is we're actually going to turn around. And we're going to turn around together. So that means that all of our ships are going to now reverse courses. Reverse course, yeah. And all of them are going to turn at the same time. Resolution class hit. What's Imashira doing? Our planes are attacking the enemy ships. That's nice to see. Or at least they are approaching them. I don't see any attack for now. Notice how Yashima is turning very slowly compared to the other ships. Still, we are scoring hits. That's the main thing. But you guys have completely kerfuffled your formation, so let's have you return to normal formation. Right, Ensign class hit, and then we've got a couple of torpedo bombers that are trying to run an attack on this destroyer squadron for whatever reason. And a couple of dive bombers who are attacking Fuso. One aircraft is being damaged, but at least one bomb hit on their superstructure. And they are actually perforating the intakes, so... No, wait a minute! That's us! That's our ship! You absolute muppets! You've bombed our own ship! Yeah, so friendly fire can happen, but our aircrafts did attack our own ship. Jesus, that's really not what I expected to happen here. Oh my god. Yeah, but I mean... Yeah, it can definitely happen, and I can see how that would happen, because ship identification is so difficult in World War II. Especially planes were incredibly unreliable to really properly identify ships. That was happening so often, but my oh my, that's not a good start here to what we are doing. Right, let's try to get you back into anything resembling a proper formation. And at least we are doing a lot of damage. Yeah, our guns are doing good work here. I'm slightly concerned about their aircraft carriers, because we can be pretty sure that they are going to prepare another strike too. Okay. Here are enemy dive bombers, so this is properly enemy. They are also scoring a hit on our ship. Not good. And no heavy AA guns are available. Yeah, this is sort of the problem with our ship designs. They can't use heavy AA platforms, so it's not very good. Another friendly fire attack here. Another friendly fire attack, and we actually suffering an engine room hit. That is pretty horrible. Whew, yeah, we'll need to talk about identification here. Maybe introduce an elite squadron. Enemy aircraft are approaching us, and Fuso is starting to look like it's a little bit short on ammo. Not fully, it's not a big problem, but still a problem. And we're not scoring bomb hits on the enemy. Mikasa is also suffering some hits here, but that's okay. I would actually like these guys to take the hits rather than anyone else. Are you being detached or something? You might try to run to the rear here and shift your flagship. That is what could be happening here. Lots of hits on the resolution classes there. Yakumo is hit by a torpedo. Which one is Yakumo? All the way down here. Really? Really? Your flotation is looking pretty bad, so what we need to do here with this gentleman then is to get you out of AI control. Drop your speed so that... Whoa. Drop your speed so that this isn't causing any further damage as you're running away. And we are actually going to run away. Bravely. Lots of resolution class hits, that's what I love to see. These would be very tempting targets for destroyers. Here's an issue. We are now pretty much focusing on ships that I think are almost sinking. Notice how much they are burning already. Sinking and on fire. Heavy damage. This guy's definitely sinking, but we're probably still going to target him, which is not good at all. Let's try to target the ships that are a little bit further away and potentially haven't suffered as much damage yet. Yeah, but the AI loves to focus on ships that are close by. And I get the appeal, but I don't think it's worthwhile. Notice how many light ships there are all of a sudden here. And that is something that I hate to see. So how many ships are up here? Resolution class. This guy, resolution class, which has suffered a lot of damage. And I think these three guys are goner for sure. Yeah, but there are too many destroyers for my liking. We probably already have torpedoes in the water, so that's not great. Let's see what we can do. Well, You guys are definitely firing on the wrong ships now. Yeah, you know what? Highway class is fine. But you actually focus on the resolution down here that's very close to you. That was probably this heavy cruiser? No, these guys down here. Well, that's okay. You guys, let's have you go here, because as soon as you're losing range, it would not be good. Looks like most of our airplanes are returning. And the Howie class is firing back pretty aggressively. And I'm sure that all of these destroyer squadrons are doing the same. There must already be so many torpedoes in the water. There must be. Let's try to stick a little bit further away. That should also help us maybe not firing completely on that sinking ship. Oh yeah, that's much better there. On this ship, heavy damage. Yeah, I mean you're firing on the ship that basically has all of her turrets disabled, but better than nothing. Diadem class is also being targeted, and the Ensign class here. Ooh, Fuji class hit. Her bridge is destroyed. That's not going to be a good sign. She's going to suffer a lot from that. But again, better her than any more valuable ship, basically. Shikima is being hit. Well, I say that, but at this point I'm thinking we're getting too many hits here on our ships. Although, to be fair, we are still dealing a lot of damage. Ooh, look at that! So that is, of course, the Jutland experience. The Resolution class was hit in X turret. There's a flash fire that goes all the way to the magazines, and the entire ship blows up in an instant. That is very nice to see. That was one of their most dangerous ships at this moment, actually. And it's immediately gone. There's no sinking period on that. That's good, because this guy down here does not have any turrets. These guys are a little bit further away. These guys are all dead and still floating. So they don't quite know that they're dead. What I dislike to see is all of these destroyers coming at us. That, to me, reeks like that is a destroyer torpedo attack. By the way, you guys, can you be core part of first battle? Yeah, why don't you do that? How are you guys doing? How's your flooding? Okay, your flooding's pretty good. You still are suffering some flotation damage due to that, but you can still deal some damage, so that's going to be okay. You guys are just really targeting the wrong guys here. Really, really, really. The Hoey class would be fantastic, but you don't seem to be actually doing that. Okay, that leaves the question, what are we going to do down here? Let's get one more turn in. Sagami. So I think we're going to do a different course here, but which one? I think the wise choice is to go slightly further away. Which is what we need to do. It is. Let's do the sensible thing. I don't want to run into torpedoes. It's not worth it. We're doing fine here. We're doing good. Fuso engine room hit. Whew. Diadem. Huh. Enemy heavy cruiser, quote unquote, is being torpedo bombed. That's these guys. I'm really hoping that there's going to be hit here. Yeah. Yeah, at least there is. I think it's a redundant hit, don't get me wrong, but it is a hit nonetheless. So that's good at least. Yeah, Resolution class hit by another torpedo there, but oh no, it's actually this ship. Lovely. Yeah, she is already doing pretty badly, so lovely. Question is, are we going to try to disengage at this point? We could try to push home the advantage, try to get their carriers. And that is tempting. It is also tempting to finish off these ships. Fuji, can you be a core part of 2nd Battle Squadron? Please and thank you. Suppose we can go back to the original course here. Resolution class, Ensign class being hit. Nice and lovely. Enemy torpedoes are attacking our ship here, and she's running really slow. And these are torpedo bombers, so it's very likely that she might be facing some issues. Speaking of issues, Harry class is firing at Yashima, and there's a couple of bad stuff that's happening. Remember, this is our main ship. I really don't want to lose her. And we've got our forward turret disabled, and fire control has been damaged. I think we still have one more fire control running, so it shouldn't be too bad, but it's still bad. And you were hit by a Howie, so let's actually go slightly further to port here and try to concentrate with our guns on these guys. Sagami, Ensign class. Yeah, it's really these two ships up here that are causing a lot of damage now. But at least Sagami has now switched fire to the Howie class and immediately scores a hit, so that's really, really lovely. There's another torpedo attack on some enemy quote-unquote heavy cruiser. No, it is actually a heavy cruiser, the Diadem class. 2 disabled turrets already, 1 still going. And another torpedo hit, a lot of torpedo hits here by our aircrafts basically. So that's really why I love torpedo bombers. And again, thank you to the person who really let me know that we didn't have enough there. Right, more ships are coming into play here. Heavy Yakuma is sinking. That's our ship, isn't it? Yeah, we kind of expected that. That's unfortunate. I really like these ships. They're sleek. They're lovely. To me, they look like a racing boat. 8-inch guns, 16 4-inch guns, dual purpose. These are lovely, but they cannot stand against enemy torpedo attacks, obviously. And she was suffering a lot of damage already, so no big surprise there. Let's keep an eye on what's going on with our carriers. I think we want to get you a little bit closer to the main action here. And also you guys, what are you doing? You're supposed to be a core part of the battleships, so why don't you try to join them again? And I know this is gonna be a little bit of a longer episode, but I love these kinds of battles. That's really, really, really lovely here. Right. Diadem class hit, that's also lovely. I kind of hate heavy cruisers in enemy hands. There's another heavy cruiser, the Sparchite class. Ooh, 10-inch guns, also very sleek, although this kind of protrusion here of the secondary guns is kind of a little bit hilarious. But you're very good at AA. 33 heavy AA effectors, that's 14 5-inch guns. Dual purpose. That is a lot. Nevertheless, you should really not be able to stand up against battleships. That is, if we score enough hits on their main battleships to really get going. Resolution class hit, yeah, that is nice, but really, can you take off the Howie and Ensign class? And maybe also use your secondary guns a little bit against all of these smaller ships? That would be kind of lovely, isn't it? Wouldn't it? Right, you guys need to change course a little bit. You're too close to enemy destroyers. Yeah, you are at least firing somewhat on the Howie and Ensign, but you're not scoring hits there. This is Sparty and another Diadem class. This Ensign class here is already sinking, I believe. Come on, guys, just sink them. Sometimes it's a bit annoying to not be able to see or not. Basically, they aren't sinking fast enough. That is, of course, really, really historical, but it does mean that it's difficult to get them to switch targets, really. And again, we are way too close to some of these destroyers. Yeah, we should really not do this. Right, let's start to turn away from this. Fuso being hit again. Okay, you guys, we're going to try to double back here and basically do a full turnaround to get to engage these guys a little bit more. Yes, it would be fun to engage all of these heavy cruisers up there, but honestly, the battleships are the main prize here. It just means that it's going to be a lot more difficult to actually coordinate fires here. But it also makes it a lot less likely that we're going to be suffering any torpedo hits here. Notice these guys up here, that's definitely torpedo squadron and destroyer squadron. And that would have been pretty horrible if they were to engage us here. It's very good that we are running away from that bravely. Ever so bravely. Yeah, they've got a lot of destroyers here. But I would love to score hits on the Ensign and Howie. They're really the main prize here. Okay, we are scoring more hits on these guys, but that's really not what we need to do. Right, we have a decent number of ships now, so let's try to score a hit on the, or try to target the heavy, the carriers. You're not too far away, so we could really use heavy loadouts wherever we are currently using medium loadouts. Let's launch a strike there. We don't want to coordinate that. But we would like you to attack carriers. Come on. Yes to all. Nope, still not want to coordinate that. Let's see whether that's going to be successful. It's pretty far away. But of course that would be another really great victory if we could actually damage a carrier here in addition to this. This is, after all, a pretty good stuff. Oh, notice one interesting factor here. One of our ships is using coal, and sometimes, once in a blue moon, coal can help you to stop an enemy shell, basically. We are now firing at the extreme ends of our range here on the Howie and Ensign class. Yeah, but it's really the resolution that we are hitting. Although these guys here, the Diadem classes, they are going to be in a world of hurt if they are going to come at our ships like that. Okay, you guys need to hold fire for a moment. This is way too far away. And there are a couple of ships there that I don't want to run into. You guys, on the other hand, can also double back. Again. Turrets are jamming. We are suffering a lot of malfunctions at this point because our stuff has been working so heavily for such a long time now. But again, I'm being greedy here, and I know it. And there is gonna be that one torpedo hit that really screws us up. I just know that, and I'm still doing this. Enemy aircrafts are approaching our carriers. Now that's not good. What do we have here? 3 torpedo bombers, Barracudas. Now we've got a couple of combat air patrols. They should really be able to deal with that. And indeed, our combat air patrol is attacking them. They're damaging one, shooting down one. That might be the same ship. We don't know that. But still. A battleship is firing at us. These guys up there. Well, you're still firing, aren't you? No, you're not. Okay, in that case, let's get you on a sort of semi-parallel course to that. That brings us closer towards that light cruiser here, which does have 6 torpedoes. On the other hand, that should really get our secondary guns working. No, I want you to fly there, find me a carrier, bomb it. Right, let's turn you towards this direction too. Get the Ensign class. And then I think we need to withdraw. It's not worth it to get into this sea of light ships, which are all going to be spewing torpedoes at us. We have dealt a lot of damage. By the way, the game is asking me here because we launched basically aircraft straight from the hangar. So they were doing the spotting first, and after the spotting is done, they're asking me whether we want to adjust that. Okay, we are hitting the Anson class now. But yeah. So many worthwhile targets. We can't go here. We could go closer towards them, I suppose. Canada class. Also 6 above water torpedo tubes. They are dangerous. And there's so much going on here. Just so much. How's your ammunition looking? Well, decent actually. Okay, let's run this a little bit more. But at least switch around the courses a little bit. Like that maybe? It doesn't need to be much, but still so much that we are throwing off their torpedoes. Bridge destroyed on Yashima. So what? Hosho. Ooh. You're very close to these ships now. That's not good. We're gonna run you over here. The thing I wanted to do is use our destroyers here, which we should have around here. You guys, let's not be AI controlled. Let's have you instead run at sort of your maximum speed towards these guys over here. I think we have 2 fuel light ships. Ensign class hit? No. We're gonna go there and you're gonna be fine. And you know what? These light cruisers, we can also get them away from AI control and send you way over here. Deal with these destroyers. No, we're not going to stand down anyone. You're going to fight. Damn it. You guys, on the other hand, can go over here and really deal the number on the Ensign class now. Yeah. Our aircrafts are sooner or later going to be far away from the enemy, and at that point we're going to be okay. Okay, come on. Get the Ensign class. Get the Ensign class. No, we're going to keep the target locations. We know that they're probably not there at the moment, but we don't need to be too concerned about that, I suppose. Right, you guys try to get the Harry class, and apologies for this very, very long episode here. Couple of unidentified ships here. Ensign class. I think Ensign class is going to go down. But again, we are being targeted quite a bit here too. And the Howie class would also be very lovely. But we're being hit here. We're being hit not too badly. So I am slightly concerned about that. Let's try to get these destroyers. A lot less ammo. Another hit on Anson with a 13-inch gun. 14 inches. Resolution classes are being hit. That must be down here, which obviously is not really what we want to do here. So I suppose we can go further to the north here. Keep close to the Anson. Do a lot of damage against her. Yeah, that's another 14 inches. But yeah, enemy aircraft are approaching us again. So ultimately, I think it is time to consolidate here a little bit. Let's see whether we can grab maybe a carrier there with our carriers, but I'm not going to try to run my battleships there. They're pretty much out of ammunition anyway, so it's not going to be worth it, I think. Yeah, you guys can start to, sorry about that, can start to turn a little bit to the south here. Maybe score some hits on Howie. You guys are going to pass by Anson, sort of, while she's trying to retire. Who's that? Do we have the torpedo ships down here? No, these guys... well, that's unfortunately. We can't use them. We should be able to use them. I would love you to attack... You know what? I would love you to attack the ensign. Can I specifically ask you to target the ensign? Yeah, I can. You've got a lot of torpedoes. Make use of them. Please, go ahead. Go for it. Ah, no, she's not doing that. They are simply not doing that. Howie class is being hit. That's at least nice. And the ensign class is getting another pounding here. Sort of last drive-by. We've got a couple of aircraft now here, so that's nice. But not enough. Yeah, Anson class I think is suffering so heavily here that she must be going down. She's burning now. Yeah, heavy damage on fire. Yeah, she's done for. Right, you guys are targeting the Harry class, aren't you? Yeah. You've got very little ammo left. Okay, you guys, let's try to run you down here. Oh, we are losing a little bit of speed too. So yeah, I think the Howie's not going to be able to withdraw from here. You guys can start to retire. You guys can start to retire, please. Oh, there was another hit on the Howie class with the 16-inch guns. That's kind of lovely. Anson class is being hit. Sure. Launch some torpedo float paints. But we're stopping for that. That's not good. Yashima is being bombed, but there are no hits there, so that's nice. Yeah, but it is time to withdraw. So let's get all of these ships to run sort of in this direction. And we can go slightly faster here. I would love to see an attack on enemy carriers, but it seems like we don't get that. In turn, we are being bombed on our carriers. There is a group of enemy aircraft here, 3 torpedo bombers. 3 is not a very large number, and we do have a lot of combat air patrol, which are attacking them. They are attacking Sagami. Let's see whether we can get away here. You're avoiding torpedoes. You get hit by a torpedo. No. Sagamis are our good class, and she is suffering a lot of damage here. But seems like she will survive. And I'm hoping that I didn't jinx that. You're bombing an enemy battleship over here. That's okay, I suppose. If you're hitting it, I would have really liked you to attack a carrier. What are our aircraft carriers doing here? Right, let's run in this direction. Let's see whether we can get away. That would be really lovely. Bombing an enemy destroyer, that's not really worth it. Also, by the way, why are you not going here? You're not running into the wind. What's going on over here? Oh, that's the enemy battleship here. Do we want to go for it with so little ammo? No, we don't have enough ammo. It's tempting, but I don't really want that to happen. Guys, sorry, you just need to run in this direction. I don't know why you're not doing that. No, I don't want to detach her, but what I want to do is drive back here to save our carriers, which are really just not going in the right direction. And you're being chased now by enemy ships, including battleships. Run away, please. Just run away. We might actually need to stand down our ships because our aircraft, because yeah, we're gonna stand them down because otherwise they're just gonna be vulnerable. Okay, our battleships are now re-engaging their heavy cruisers, which sort of smelt the blood, and we're trying to get our carriers. They are obviously scared about our battleships, which they should be. So that's a decent choice by them to run away. I noticed that there's some glare, which makes me believe that we must be pretty close to sunset. Yeah, we are. That's not necessarily good, because that means that all of these enemy light ship... What are you doing? What are you doing? Why is everyone... Why don't you follow my orders? I want you to go into this direction. Okay, just don't do that. I think it's because you're trying to do something about the... Oh no, because you're under air attack. Okay, that makes sense. You're just trying to prevent being hit here. That's a fair reason. But look at all of this wolf pack there of light British destroyers. Yes, we want everything to go down. Don't have any refueled aircraft standing ready here. Okay, at least it looks like they're withdrawing now. No. They might come back in the night. For heaven's sake. Do I need to babysit you? Yeah, I do. This is really odd behavior. You're providing capture. Is that it? I don't think it is. Why are you being so erratic? Okay, we are approaching enemy ships, but it's all heavy cruisers, and it is already pretty much nighttime, so we really don't want to launch any more aircraft. We would take disproportionate losses here. No, 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 no. I see what you're doing. I don't want you to do that. I want you to run west. No, stop doing that. I don't know why you think 275 degrees should be your course. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. No, no, no. No, no, no. Don't be suicidal. I wonder whether there's a trait of a ship that it turns basically to be suicidal. Because it looks like it's doing that. Jesus, why do you want to go in that direction? I suppose I can't stop you, can I? Can only sort of manually spam click in this direction to force you to actually go here. No, 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 don't. You know, you're still... Yeah. Oh, finally you're listening to me? That's lovely. Good. Right, let's get everyone to go a little bit faster here. We should see the end of this scenario pretty soon. Yeah, it's been an hour, but let's see. We're going to lose a lot of planes here, simply because a lot of them were forced for night landings, which they're really not built up to do. But that's sort of the issue here. Right, of course the game could continue way into the next day, which I suppose would put us at a small advantage. But not much of it, with having lost so many aircraft, having lost so much other stuff. Right, so let's try to go to the south here. Try to disengage. Get as far away from the enemy as we can. Lick our wounds, because make no mistake here, we have certainly won this battle, I think, at this point, unless we were running into a minefield or something. But it's been a strategic victory for us, for sure, but at a cost. We've definitely suffered a lot of damage here. And keep in mind, the UK is better suited to actually deal with that kind of damage. So, let's see though. So, we started out with 6 battleships. We have light damage on 5 of them, heavy on 1. They started out with 7. 6 of them were sunk. 1 of them is heavily damaged. 2 carriers, no damage to them, no damage to our carriers. 1 of our heavy cruisers is sunk. None of theirs is, although 1 suffered heavy damage. Curiously enough, very little damage to light ships. No light cruisers, no destroyers sunk, no land installations or any of that. Of our 316 airplanes, 9 were lost, so that's actually pretty okay, but 6 of them operational losses, all of them torpedo bombers, nearly all of them torpedo bombers. On their end, 13 losses, sort of similar. Most of them air-to-air losses, interestingly enough, and only 1 operational loss. Yeah, so these are the night landings. But let's look at the ship details here in more detail, because I'm really excited about that. We've got Resolution, sunk, Rodney sunk. 5 heavy hits, that was it. 5 heavy hits, that was all it took. Yeah, she was the one going down by a flash fire. The Resolution itself, lead ship of her class. And she was in the same salvo, she was hit by another 14-inch shell. From Mikasa, nice. Good. What else? Rodney. Yeah, you look pretty pummeled. A lot of heavy hits here. And curiously enough, a bomb hit. Yeah. Lots of hits though when she was already going down. And I think it's just cumulative damage that sort of brought her down. Fire spreads. Yeah, she was under fire. She was on fire. Royal Sovereign. Repulse. This is a huge victory for us. On our end, really only Yakumo sunk. Which one is the one on our end with heavy damage? Sagami. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. 10 heavy hits here. No bomb hits, but 1 torpedo hit. 1 torpedo hit? When were we damaged by a torpedo? When did that happen? Torpedo turret destroyed? Yeah. Turret B back in action? Jammed. I don't see the torpedo hit, but it must of course have happened. And Yashima, she suffered light damage, 16 heavy hits, but a lot of them didn't seem to penetrate, so that's lovely. Good, I like it. I like it a lot. This is a huge victory. We're gonna get a lot of victory points for that. Oh, one of the things that I also like to do is at least look at the Corsair for a lot of their ships. So sometimes a bit difficult to see, but we started out here, they started out there, we sort of clashed. This is the battle. And what I do find a little bit more interesting is this track over here. That must be the carriers. So they started out over here and they sort of looped around. We never really saw them there. A couple of our ships really went up over here and did kerfuffle around there. Yeah, these were the guys who were under AI control. And they were all going back towards their ports. So at the end of the scenario, there weren't really any enemy ships left, except for this group up over here. Heavy cruisers, some light cruisers. I would not have liked to engage them, so that's fine. Good, 34,000 victory points. We have won that war. I think this really won us this war. We're actually gaining 2 prestige for this. This is a big, big battle. Let's briefly look at the almanac, what that did. Magnetic mines, lovely, yeah. These are not too important. Oh, one of our submarines sunk. British stuff sunk. Submarine sunk. Ooh, Jesus. 5 months of damage by mine hit. We lost 4 ships and 2 submarines. That's not good. So the trade war didn't go our way at all. But yeah, we still have such a huge victory here. Notice our monthly budget is way, way negative as we're trying to repair everything. That will need to be fixed. But let's look at the almanac here very briefly. We still got 9 battleships, but Britain ain't. Britain really ain't. We've really tossed them down in their tonnage over here. They are even on par with us in tonnage now, almost. But make no mistakes, their 3 carriers are worth a lot more than our 3. That's still a big, big danger. Yeah, but that being said, thank you for watching. Do let me know your thoughts on this battle. Oh, notice that the Brits still have about as much strength here in this sector as we do. Well, still, I love it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Do leave a like, do leave a comment, and I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.